It is smooth, it is creamy, it is delicious. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. Today we're gonna make a delicious French vanilla bean ice cream in the Ninja Foodi cold and hot blender. Now usually in the grocery stores you will see French vanilla, which is kind of on the yellowish side because it's a custard base. And then you also see vanilla bean. But I wanted to combine the two because I love vanilla bean, but I also love the richness of a custard. So I combined the two and made this delicious ice cream recipe for you guys. The eggs also help to keep ice crystals from forming. So that was another real bonus to this recipe, as it was very smooth and creamy, which I know that we all strive for, right? All right, so in this bowl, I have 3 egg yolks that I've already separated, and then I just have my 4th egg here, and I thought I would separate that on camera. I don't use any fancy equipment or anything like that. I just use the shell of the egg. I know that there's egg strainers and things like that. I just have never had any luck with them, so I just do it by hand. So I make a crack, pull the egg apart, and scoop the yolk, and then I just go back and forth until all of the egg white is gone. There we go. So that is super, super easy. All right, so we've got our egg yolks. That's 4 egg yolks. And I have tried the ice cream with whole eggs, and it worked fine. But the yolks are what you really need for that fat in the ice cream. Of course, heavy cream also has fat. But anyway, it all works perfectly together to give you a nice, creamy, delicious, not icy ice cream. All right, here I have 1 cup of whole milk. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the blender. And we need to get the egg yolks in the blender. And I wanna also get the sugar in the blender. But before I do that, I wanna take out 2 tablespoons of the sugar, and I'm gonna put it in with my xanthan gum, which is another stabilizer that will help reduce ice crystals as well. So I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of the sugar and stir that up with the xanthan gum. And we're gonna set that aside. We are not adding that in right now because we wanna keep this mixture on the thin side so that the eggs can heat up to 160 degrees in the blender, which will kill any salmonella that could be in them. So that makes this recipe a safe one. However, if you are still leery about using raw eggs in recipes, you can get pasteurized eggs at the grocery store. So they're a little more expensive, but if that will ease your mind, pick those up and use them instead in this ice cream. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the 4 egg yolks in, and the remaining of 2/3 cup of sugar. That's the perfect amount of sweetness for me, but you could certainly decrease it or increase it if you'd like. All right, there we go. Now we will put the lid on the blender, turn it on, and we want to hit the mixer button. All right, there we go. So that initial blend got all those ingredients blended up, and now it's going to heat up, and it's going to heat up to 160, between 160 and 165. Don't worry though, that will not cook the egg yolk, so we're not going to have clumps of eggs. It just gently heats up the mixture so that it will kill the any salmonella that might be present. So this will, through this cycle of I think it's 10 minutes and 30 seconds, through that cycle, it will blend, heat, blend, heat, blend, heat. So I will take a temperature a couple of times during it. However, if you don't have the mixer function, because I know some of the UK models don't and some of the other models may not as well, if you don't have the mixer function, you can replicate this by using the manual speeds. And I just wrote a complete guide for the Ninja Foodi Cold and Hot Blender that is on my website, and it breaks down every single cycle into stages so that you'll know exactly when the blending is going to happen, exactly how the function works, which will make it really easy for you to duplicate these recipes if you don't have one of the functions that I have. And I'm going to link to that article right up there for you guys so that you can go and check it out. All right, so we'll just let this go probably at about minute 5. I will take a temperature, make sure that we are getting up to that 160, and then we'll let it finish up, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients, which I will go over in just a minute. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes and I'm gonna go ahead and check a temp, see where we are. I do recommend opening up the lid to do this instead of just opening the center, just because it could start blending, and if you don't know exactly where in the cycle, you could really have a mishap with your thermometer. All righty, so we are up to about 155, looks like. And if I go a little bit down, it's about 160 down towards the end. Okay, so we're good to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and go the next 5 minutes here, and I will check a temperature probably in about 2 more minutes. All right, let's go ahead and just check a temp real quick. Starting to see a little bit of steam. All right, we are at about 158, which I'm good with. So let's let it keep on going here. The second half seems to heat up a little bit hotter, so I don't worry about it that it's just right under the 160, because it will get up there by the minute 30, and that's all we need to worry about is 3 minutes at 160, and we'll get to that at the 3-minute mark. Oh, it's steamy now. Yes, we are definitely at the 160 mark, so we are good to go here. And in fact, in places, it's actually 170. So, all right, good to go. Now I'm just gonna let the cycle finish. I don't need to worry about taking another temperature or anything like that, because I know it's not gonna cool down, okay? It's gonna stay the same for the next 3 minutes. It will spin another couple times, but we're good to go. All right, so our mixer function has finished. Now it's time to get the rest of the ingredients into the blender to finish up our mix. First thing I'm gonna add in is 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. This I had in the refrigerator because I want to cool this mixture down. We don't wanna freeze it while it's super hot, so we wanna cool it down. So I'm gonna add in the 2 cups of heavy cream right now. And then we're gonna put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And in order to make it a vanilla bean, or French vanilla bean in this case, we need to have vanilla beans, right? So what I did, instead of getting the vanilla beans in the pod and scraping the seeds out, I decided to go ahead and get something called vanilla bean paste. I ordered this off of Amazon. I have never tried any other products except for this one, so I don't really know how good of a quality this is or isn't. In fact, I was a little disappointed when I first got it because of the consistency. I was expecting a thick paste, but it came in this kind of a consistency, which is, I mean, thicker than a vanilla extract. And there's definitely little vanilla beans in there, but it wasn't as thick as I thought. And then I tasted it, like out of anything, just plain, and it was like not very good. So I was really nervous. But after I made it with the ice cream, oh my gosh, it is absolutely delicious. So really, it's an economical way to get some vanilla beans into your ice cream without buying the pods. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add this in. I have 1 tablespoon here. It all in there. All right, then the final ingredient is that 2 tablespoons of sugar that we mixed up really well with the 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. You want the xanthan gum equally dispersed in the sugar so that it doesn't go into the liquid and get gummy all of a sudden. So this will prevent that. So make sure you mix it with the sugar. That's very important. And we're gonna go ahead and pour that in. And now we just need to hit the ice cream button. What we're gonna do is blend everything up so we don't taste the granules of the sugar. And we will also put some air into it so it makes our ice cream a little bit lighter. All right, there we go. Now, there are 2 things you can do. You can either get it into your freezer containers right away, or you can chill it down in the refrigerator for an hour or so. What I'm gonna do is just see how hot it is right now, because we did put in 2 full cups of cold cream. So I'm gonna see, and it is sitting at about 110 degrees. So it definitely could chill. So I think that's what I'm gonna do this time. But real quick, I'm gonna go over the containers that I have. So I have This is from Pampered Chef. It is a freezer tray. I've had it in the freezer since we started doing the vanilla ice cream. And these trays are really handy to have. They are about 1.5 to 2 inches deep. They hold 2 cups. They come with a lid and they are metal and they're really perfect for freezing ice cream. But if you don't have any, I recommend using something metal. This really gets nice and cold in the freezer and it helps freeze the ice cream quicker. The quicker your ice cream freezes, the less ice crystals you're gonna have. And that's the reason why I'm gonna cool this down in the refrigerator. So we're gonna go ahead and pop it into the refrigerator for just maybe an hour or so, and then we will get it into our containers and into the freezer for 6 to 8 hours, and then we'll get to scoop it up and taste it. But before I pour this in to chill, I'm gonna add one more ingredient that's been sitting here, and it's clear liquid, and it is vodka. I know, kind of strange. If you're making this for the kiddos, you don't need to add it in. But what I found is just 2 tablespoons of vodka gave the best consistency for scoopability in this ice cream. Oh my gosh, I was just blown away with how much easier it was to scoop out. Now, without the vodka, it will still be fine, but this vodka, you know, helps prevent it from freezing all the way. So it works great. So I'm just gonna dump that in and just give it a pulse. All right, there we go. Now, of course, if you wanted to put another kind of alcohol in there, you certainly could. If you wanted to put like amaretto and have a little bit of an almond flavor, you could do that. So you could really get creative and use this vanilla base and then jazz it up any which way you like. All right, so let's go ahead and pour it in here. And then I'm just gonna pop it in the refrigerator. So I've had the vanilla ice cream mix chilling in the refrigerator for about an hour. So let's go ahead and, oh my gosh, doesn't that look amazing? Oh, it's beautiful color. Wow. All right. Then I like to put parchment on top. It's not absolutely necessary, but I think that it helps with ice crystals. All right. I don't have a lid for this one, so the only thing I'm gonna do is I'll set this on top in the freezer, and I will just put this on and try to get my parchment down to create a little barrier there. All right, so I'm gonna pop them in the freezer and we'll let them freeze for 6 to 8 hours, and then I will scoop it and give it a taste. All right, so now we're gonna taste the French vanilla bean ice cream, which I think I made that up. I don't even know if there's such a thing, but I like vanilla beans and I like the custard base on a vanilla ice cream. It looks amazing. No ice crystals, which I can usually tell. I've made so many batches of ice cream that I can usually tell right by looking at it whether or not it's gonna be creamy or not. Now, in my test recipes, this ice cream has had to sit out for a few minutes before it's really scoopable. But let's try it. Let's just see what happens, okay? So here we go. It's a little hard. Yeah, so let's let it sit out just a minute. I mean, I could probably scoop it, but I really wanna get that nice scoop feel. So let's just let it sit here for a few minutes. This one got lopsided because it was tilted in my freezer, but that's okay. So I'm gonna leave this one out for a few minutes, put this one back in, and we'll get to tasting it in just a minute. All right, so it's been sitting out for about 5 minutes, and let's see if it's scoopable. It is. In fact, it's getting a little bit too scoopable here. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Put that there. So underneath, it's a little bit more melted than on the top here, and that's why it's kind of moving around. But I'm hearing what could be ice crystals, so I'm gonna give it a taste and see. It has not been icy at all in the past. I didn't do anything different, so we'll see what happens. All right, there we go. French vanilla bean. Oh my gosh, it is creamy. All right, here it goes. No ice crystals. So I don't know what I was hearing, but no. It is smooth. It is creamy. It is delicious. This is perfect. I am so excited. Now you could use this as a base and actually kind of build your own flavor. So if you wanted like a vanilla blueberry or any other kind of flavors you can put in. Just remember, when you're adding fruit, you're going to add some more water, which is going to create some ice crystals. So you may want to go up either on the alcohol or possibly even the xanthan gum to accommodate for that. But as always, make it yours and make it delicious.